Hello.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Well, good morning. How you doing?
I am good. To everyone out there, you've reached Reflecting Back with Michelle podcast, and I am live with Guy Keehner. He is the owner of Springfield Acai Bowl, and he has graciously um, joined me this morning, and he's going to just tell about his life's journey up until owning the couple establishments that we're going to get into. Guy, how you doing this morning?
I'm good. I'm really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I woke up. That's half the battle.
Hey, on the right side of the bed, right?
Yes, that's absolutely right. Yeah.
When my husband wakes up grumpy, I'm like, go to the other side and try that side and see if see if that's the right side of the bed.
There you go.
So tell us a little bit about, your life, and let's kind of start off with the corporate America side before you even had a dream about starting your own business. And tell us a little bit about what you did. Let's start, like maybe in your 30s.
Oh, God. Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty easy. In my 30s, I started working for AT&T. That's my corporate America journey. So I was there about 20 years. I was, looking back, I could kind of see where God guided me where I needed to be rather than where I wanted to be. We lived just south of Memphis. And so when I first looked at going to work for AT&T, I thought, well, Memphis is where I want to be. Obviously, that's where, you would go to work.
Mhm. And
And
why was that obvious?
because that's the big city, that's where all the people are. That's where, you assume that's where you go to work at.
I see.
Um, However, uh, at the time, Tunica, which is a big gambling establishment, big gambling area, is just south of Memphis in Mississippi. They also needed people to work for AT&T, and they made me a much better offer down there than they would in Memphis. So I went down there to work, and I had no idea what I was getting into. It's like anytime you go to work at a new company, it's like they throw all these different job titles, etc., at you, and you're going, great. I don't know what they mean, but
Sure.
okay.
You're right.
So I started out with AT&T as a facility tech, and which basically meant as I was a wire splicer. I put big cables together.
Okay.
Took all the little colored wires and put them back together where they're supposed to be, spliced fiber together, things like that.
Now, is this
Um,
for internet or what's it
so
for?
back then,
Mhm.
it was for mostly for home service and home internet.
Okay.
There wasn't very much fiber then, except for intercontinental fiber, office to office fiber, things like that. That's like, again, that was back when I was 30. So
Sure.
that was a long time ago.
We don't need to mention
Yeah,
age.
that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Uh, so, so that's where I started, and it was great, and I loved it. And it was so much better than being in Memphis. I didn't have to deal with the traffic. I didn't have
Mm.
to deal with the people. I didn't have to deal with, um, you know, any of that stuff. And I thought that what I wanted to do was be the guys that fix the phones, the repair guys.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely not. No, I didn't have to deal with customers. I didn't have
Mm-hmm.
to deal with, I had a great boss. And it was just basically, it's a construction job. So they said, hey, here's your stuff. Go do your job.
Mm.
It was wonderful.
Yeah.
So I did that for a number of years. One of the things we did on that side of the house was turn up. So any new equipment that came in, uh, installing the big computers outside and the stuff that turns electrical systems into dial tone or internet. We'd install all that equipment. That got transferred to a different side of the house. So when that happened, I just kind of followed the job over to that side of the house. Uh, and then I ended up being a digital technician, which is the best job in the phone company. I mean, there's no other job that's even close.
And why do
Uh,
you say that?
because most of the people that work there will have 40 years of service or more before they retire. There's like, why would I leave? It's a great job. It's really easy. We do installing all that equipment and repair it and then maintain it. So you just travel around and check equipment. And I mean, it's just a fabulous job as long as you don't mind working by yourself.
Sure.
Yeah. So you get to listen to a lot of books and just goof off.
Yeah.
It was good. It was a good job.
That's great. And how long were you in that role?
I was probably there the last 14 years of AT&T.
Okay. So is that the only job that you had?
No. No. Before that, I was, I've done a lot of stuff. We had a car lot before that. I was in the military before that. Oh no, I worked at a car lot before that. Then I was in the military. Before we came up here, I had a food truck that I was running. Really? When I was working at AT&T. Did that.
So you did that on the weekends, your food truck?
Actually, I started it on the weekends, and it grew to the point where I had to hire a couple of guys to run it during the week. So they would go do my lunch stuff during the week. They're a couple of great college kids, and man, they did a great job. But they'd run it during the week, and then we'd have nighttime stuff we'd go do, and then we did weekend stuff. It just exploded. And
so how did you get in the food truck business?
Well, with any corporate job in America,
everybody has to eat.
Well, back then, all these corporations, including AT&T, were always talking about layoffs. Oh man, we're gonna lay off. We're gonna lay off. I had 20 years service, and I was the low man on the totem pole. That's how good that job was. I mean, like I said, people with 40 years would still be there because they're like, well, this is great. I'm not leaving. So with 20 years service and being low man on a totem pole, I needed to have an exit strategy or a strategy just in case something ever happened. So I thought, I looked into a lot of franchises. I looked into just something else to do on the side. And I came across this, it's a photo. It's online and you can look it up. It's the $1 grilled cheese truck. It's a little trailer. Somebody just did a mock-up on, and they put it on Instagram or something like that. It ended up getting 1 million views. 1 million people love this thing.
Wow.
So I thought, well, hey, that's what I'll do. I'll do like $1 grilled cheese. You can make money doing that, but you got to sell a lot of them. Well, we tried. Didn't work. No, it didn't work. So we
and why didn't it work?
Because it wasn't enough profit.
Okay.
At $1, you really it might have been good if you were at a festival selling 1,000 of them, but to just do to go do events, you just couldn't make any money. So we changed it to the $2 grilled cheese truck, and that worked great. So we actually sold grilled cheese for $2. We had a ham and cheese, a turkey and cheese, a bologna and cheese for $3. We did a $5 deal where you got any of those sandwiches, a bag of chips, and a drink for $5. And then obviously we had other stuff. We had Philly cheesesteaks and hot dogs and brats and things like that too, to actually make a little bit of money. But
now that was before the boom of the food truck, right?
That was well,
because right now they're everywhere.
Yeah, that was about when it was starting to really go. And like I said, I still get calls today, 2 years later, saying, "Hey, look, can we use your truck?" It's like, look, I've been closed for years.
So when you bought the truck, was it already ready to go, or did you have to customize it to be a food truck?
No, we actually, like I said, we were down in Mississippi, so I looked for a food truck for a long time. We actually came to Springfield to buy one.
Okay.
And then took it down to Mississippi and ran it. That was already done. I mean, you just had to put your equipment in there. So I had to get the griddle and fridges and all that kind of stuff. But it was already set up with sinks and all that. And then we added a lot to it. But yeah, it was great. We had a good time doing that.
That sounds fun.
So that was my first experience with food sales.
Okay.
And it was a good time.
Yeah. And why did it end?
Because we moved.
Oh, because you okay.
Yeah. So we were, and the thing is, I had it booked out for about 6 months
Mm,
before we moved, and it was like I had to call and cancel all my bookings because
mm,
we moved. So,
mm-hmm,
and I couldn't
mm-hmm.
find anybody to take over, which is
Gotcha.
too bad. Yeah.
It is. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. That's neat. And so you moved to Springfield, I assume.
hmm
Hmm.
We did.
What brought you to Springfield?
My wife gave me options when I retired.
I
She said
see.
we can either go to Panama City Beach
Hmm.
or we could come up here. Well, I knew if I went to Panama City Beach and we bought a condo, that's all we'd have money to do, is to hang
Yes.
out on the beach. And I didn't want to live that life. As much as I love the ocean, I love the beach, I love to be there. I also love to have money to do other things. So
That's true.
it was less expensive up here. And we have some really close friends that we've known for, oh, God, 40 years that are
Mm.
in this area.
Hmm.
And so it was nice to have that backing when you move, to have somebody in the area. And we just love the people. I mean, the
Oh,
people here are the best ever.
yes.
So
They always talk about Springfield, murder capital, or like I don't see it. Like the people are super nice.
I don't either.
Maybe I'm just not looking in the right spots, which is okay. I don't want to
Yeah.
find it,
Yeah.
but I think it's wonderful.
Yeah. I hear that
And
too.
everybody, we're talking about Springfield, Missouri,
Yeah.
what we're talking about. Yeah.
My brother, I tried to get him to come down here, and he said, "Oh, I did some research, and they say crime is really high." I'm like, "What crime? I don't
Yeah.
see any crime."
Compared to like St. Louis and Chicago, I think we're like up there supposedly,
No,
but
that's
yeah,
I don't get that either.
I don't
But
know if it's just I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to tell my age, but I'm up there as well, and I don't run into, knock on wood, praise Jesus. I don't know what you want to do. I'm afraid I'm jinxing myself now. I'm going to go to Walmart and get mugged or something, but it hasn't happened yet. Yeah.
I just don't see it, and I'm with you. We travel. I go downtown. We go all over this area, and it's clean. The people are great. Everybody is super nice and helpful. When we moved here, I thought people were trying to sell me something or get something over on me because they're so nice, and I was like, okay, what do you want? What do you need a 20? Is that what's going on here?
Right.
But people are just genuinely wholesome, good people, and it's so weird to see because it's not your normal America, especially
Mm-mm.
coming from Memphis.
Sure.
I was like,
Yeah.
this is crazy.
You look around, you're kind of skeptical and like, why
Yeah,
are these people so nice? What's wrong with them?
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I talked to
I
other
want
people
what they're having.
yeah.
I want the nice gene. Yeah. So is your wife retired at the time, or is she was she working when you moved to Springfield?
She also was running her own business. She has a laser engraving business that she runs.
Okay.
So she does stuff like these cups. Oh, there you go, like that. So
Nice.
she engraves all this stuff, and
Okay.
so she customizes whatever on them.
Well, give what's the name of her business? Give her a shout out.
And her business is TAK Engraving.
TAK Engraving. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to say this. So I do not get paid to endorse or interview or anything like that on this podcast. It is totally free ministry. So I have to announce that. So I'm so glad that that opportunity presented itself. So say it again. TK Engraving. Is that right?
TAK Engraving.
TAK Engraving. Okay.
Yeah, and you can find her on Facebook. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Okay, so she's been in that business. How long was she in that business? Or is she currently still doing that?
She does it now continually for her customers that she's developed over the years,
Okay.
different businesses and such, and she'll do custom orders, but she's not actively in the market. She's not going out saying, "Hey, look, I need new business."
Gotcha.
She's been doing that for a lot of years.
Neat.
God, it's been a long time. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Well, good. Okay,
yeah.
so you both are in Springfield.
Yep.
And are you just twiddling your thumbs thinking, okay, what's our next chapter?
Okay, so after that, we moved up here, and we decided we wanted to travel. We like to cruise, and we like to goof off.
Mhm.
So we got here in October, and we went on a cruise. And then a couple days before Thanksgiving, I said, "Hey, what are we doing after Thanksgiving?" She says, "Nothing." I said, "Great. We're leaving on Saturday to go on another 14-day cruise," which turned into a 21-day cruise.
Wow.
Then we went on another cruise. Then we went to an all-inclusive down in the Dominican Republic, and we went on another cruise. And I'm like, "Dear, we got to stop this. We got dogs. We got to be home occasionally, you know." And so I had some friends down in Mississippi that owned an acai bowl restaurant, and they loved it. And I liked the fact it was clean. There's no oil, there's no grease. So we started looking around the area. What's available here? And Abby's was the only one available. She was running it out of a food truck at the farmer's market. And we thought, well, she was only open 5 hours a week. And we thought, well, there's a need. We can fill it. So we thought we'd go ahead and start it. And so that's what we did. July 15th of 22, we started and opened up the Springfield Acai Bowl on Republic Road.
Okay.
The scary thing was when they came and hung the sign up, the guys that hung the sign said, "Oh, another Chinese restaurant."
No.
Yeah, I'm like, "Oh, great."
Oh,
so maybe the
no.
Midwest is not the best place to put this thing.
Oh no.
But we were really blessed, and it was a phenomenal opening. So
I'm going to share my screen here, and I'm going to put out Okay, perfect. So this right here, I'm going to make sure, let's see here. Let me share. What I'm doing here is I want to share your locations.
Oh, okay.
And there you go. Okay. Perfect.
Yep.
So let's talk about that. So you said that you opened the Springfield, Missouri one location first.
That's correct.
And so where'd you hear that they said, "Oh no, another Chinese restaurant"? Tell us a little bit about that story.
Oh, okay. So they were just hanging up the sign. We had our signs made, and they put them up. And the day before we opened, the gentlemen were up there installing the signs. And when they came down from putting the big signs up that said Springfield Acai Bowl, they said, "Oh, another Chinese restaurant." And I took that to mean that nobody in the area kind of knew what an acai bowl was.
Yes. Yeah.
So that was kind of disappointing. But the next day when we opened, it was phenomenal. The support from the community was great. People were lined up out the door. They were parking on Republic Road, which they shouldn't have been, which is really bad. We had no idea. It was just Teresa and I running things. We had no help, because we expected it to be a nice soft opening,
sure,
and slow and gradually build. And that's not what happened.
Oh, wow.
So we were,
okay. So you open the doors. You're like, okay, a few people are going to come in here and trickle in, and we'll fix it. Okay, so tell us about the experience of the first time opening the door.
Okay, so we opened the door, and the morning was kind of slow. I mean, it was the morning. People were still going to work and all that. I'd say about 10 o'clock, things started getting crazy, and people started getting in line, and we just couldn't keep up. So Teresa and I, we're
was it just you and Teresa, or did you?
Just Teresa and I.
Okay,
yep. That was just the two.
No
of us.
staff,
No staff,
okay.
just us. We didn't expect anything big, and it started getting crazy, and we couldn't keep up. She's taking orders and topping and checking people out, and I'm building bowls as fast as we can, and it's all new to us too, because we just opened, So we had the concept down, we had the flow down, but we didn't have the skills down,
Now, was there training that you had to attend and get certified, or is this a franchise?
It is not.
Okay.
Not anymore, or not yet.
Okay. Right. Not
Maybe
yet.
eventually will be.
Sure.
But no, so we there was no training. Again, so we were just kind of,
Okay, just winging it. Yeah.
yeah, like I said,
Mhm.
I'd been in the food industry. We knew how we worked it on the truck. I knew speed was important. I had the basics down, but
Mhm.
we didn't have the skills of repetition.
Mhm.
When somebody came in and said, "Hey, I want a Rio bowl," it was
Mhm.
like, "Okay, what is on a Rio bowl? How do I do?" Okay, then I want a Brazil. Okay, now what's on a Brazil? What, yeah, you know what I mean.
Yes,
So
sure, sure.
now you
It's
can
kind of like the
almost just
memorization of what's in each one. So
exactly.
for our listeners right now that doesn't know what it is, so tell us a little bit. What's the name mean? The meaning behind it, and just tell us a little bit about your product that you guys offer.
Okay, as far as the name of the restaurant or the name of
No,
the okay.
yeah, just where does the name generate from? Is there like health factors in it? Like, why would we want to come to your establishment?
Oh, don't do that. Oh, it's
Tell
terrible.
us, tell us, guy. Why would we want to come visit? Besides,
um,
you're awesome. Besides
yeah,
that,
yeah. Well,
yeah.
yeah. There's that, but okay. It is good healthy food, which is it's a breakfast and lunch, light lunch meal. A lot of people tend to do it for a snack or dessert, um, but the yeah, there you go. There's some good
Hmm.
pictures of it right there. The bowls are really really healthy for you. The bases we use are 100% fruit, a little bit of water, and some organic cane sugar. Uh, so there's nothing unnatural in them at all. Then we use 100% fresh fruit. We don't use any frozen strawberries or blueberries or nothing. Like everything is fresh. We buy fruit almost daily. Then the toppings we use are all gluten free. Yeah, they're all gluten free. Uh, so even our granola is gluten free, which is a big deal for a lot of
It
folks. They
is.
don't want that
Mm-hmm.
gluten in there.
Mm-hmm.
And we do have a lot of great toppings. We use our honey actually is sourced out of Rio or out of Brazil, um, which is good because that's where the acai berry comes from, is Brazil. This is a Brazilian kind of thing.
Okay.
Um,
So let's talk about the acai berry. So that's from Brazil.
it is.
So is it a plant? Is it off a tree? Like, what? Tell us a little bit. I don't know anything about it. So tell us, educate us, guy.
Okay, so it's acai berry is a berry out of Brazil. It's really good for you. It's called a superfruit. There's a ton of antioxidants in there. There's 10 times more than a blueberry.
Okay.
So it's super good for you. It's good for your
Mm.
brain function, your digestive system. It supposedly helps you lose weight. I myself, I eat it all the time, but I ain't gonna say I eat so much I'm losing weight. I don't know how that works. If you eat, you lose weight. I don't get that.
Right.
Supposedly, that's what they say.
Okay.
Uh, but it's great for all sorts of things because of all the antioxidants in it. Uh, so what happened is the surfers would go down to Brazil and surf because they got some really gnarly waves, dude.
Sure, sure.
And they took and they loved this stuff. They're like, this stuff is great. So when they went back to California, they took it with them. They said, look, we're going to have to figure out how to get this up here. So it started back in California in the 90s.
Okay.
And then the surfers would go to Hawaii or Florida and surf. And so the next couple of places that got it were Hawaii and Florida. And so everywhere that the surfers went, that's where people would be able to get acai bowls. And then it just kind of grew into the States. Now, if you're into jiu-jitsu, you'll hear a different story. The story there is that jiu-jitsu came out of Brazil. And so the people that do jiu-jitsu in the States at every match have an acai bowl place to eat at all the jiu-jitsu tournaments. And they're like, yeah, because it's a Brazilian thing. So the guys that do jiu-jitsu brought it up. But the articles I've read, and I wasn't there for either of it, all say it's the surfers. But it could be from either, and that's fine. It's a really good, healthy breakfast, lunch, snack.
Nice.
So,
Tell us a little bit. What am I seeing here? What are the three options that are on the screen right now?
okay, I would say that the first one with the acai in the background on the left is going to be a Bahamas. So that's a coconut base with granola, pineapple, chocolate chips, Nutella, and Uh, it's a super popular bowl. A lot of people like it because the coconut pineapple is kind of like a pina colada.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Sounds
do
good.
like that flavor, we also have a blue cream that is it's a blue base, and it is coconut pineapple put together in the base. So it's
Okay.
already got that flavor. Middle one looks like it's going to be a Cuba. So that's our dragon fruit base. Again, it's got granola on it. Bananas, strawberries, and pineapple with almonds, coconut, and honey.
Mm.
Okay. The
I'm getting hungry here.
yeah, the third one almost looks like, I don't know which one that would be. Maybe a build a bowl. So that's a nice thing too. If you don't like one of our options, you can always build your own.
Okay.
You can say, "Hey, I want the peanut butter base. I want." Actually, that's a buildable because I can see two bases on it. Looks like somebody put a coconut and something else. Probably one of the things the girls were playing with. They do that all the time. They develop some really neat recipes, and I love it because I don't have to.
Exactly. That's great.
It's great.
Oh,
But
well,
yeah,
good.
if you don't like what the options are, you just go in and say, "Hey, look, I want to do this base. I want to do these fruit toppings. I want to do these other toppings on top of that," and we put it together for you right there.
Nice. So you said girls. So I assume that you have staff now. It's
I
just
have
not you. Okay.
Oh, I have
Good.
lots of staff, and I
Okay.
can't find a guy to work for me. I tell you what, I don't know what it is. They're all scared of me or something.
Hey, there's a
But
plug if you're looking for a job right there.
yeah, all the ladies though are great. We have a
Yeah.
ton of great ladies working for us.
Okay, so we have the Springfield location, and how many years are you at the Springfield location right now?
We've been there just over a year.
Just over a year. Okay,
Yeah, yeah. Long time.
and so you're retired,
I
and then
am.
you and Teresa decide we're going to open this Acai establishment. So a lot of people would be like, "What? Are you crazy? You just retired. You're supposed to be out gallivanting around doing your little cruise thing." So walk me through that, and are you happy doing what you're doing?
Okay, so it wasn't Teresa and I. It was more like, "Hey, dear, I'm going to go open a restaurant." She's like, "What are you crazy? We're supposed to be out gallivanting doing our cruise thing."
Okay, yes, okay, that makes sense.
And I'm like, "No, I can't do that. I'm one of those people. I have to be doing something. I mean,
Mhm.
that's why I was running a food truck while I worked at AT&T. Um, Before that, my son and I we started back when vaping just came out.
Mm. Mhm.
Um, we started a box mod company, so we were actually making the boxes to hold the batteries and all, and selling those to the vaping industry. We
Really?
did that for a long time. In fact, that's where she got her laser engraver because I'm like, "Dear, I need somebody to engrave these, and everybody's 6 weeks out. If I bought you a laser engraver, would you start a business engraving our
Please.
boxes?"
That is so cool.
So we did that. Yeah, I mean, there's
Like,
always
sure, why not?
yeah, I've
Yeah.
always got something going on, and
Mhm.
she knew there's no way I'm going to retire and just sit here. Yeah, you know,
Right,
I'm not going
right.
to do that.
Oh,
So when we started, and we're so thankful. We worked with Jamie Tillman. She was our realtor for our commercial property, and well, she wasn't even our realtor. We happened to call on a property that she had, and we looked and looked and looked and looked, and then she called us back and said, "Hey, listen, Guy, you guys still looking?" "Yeah, we're still looking.
mm,
We can't find the right spot." She says, "I know the perfect place for you," and she hooked us up with the location in Springfield, and um, it was great because it was a Domino's before we got in there, so we just had
okay.
to wait a couple of months till Domino's moved to their new location. But when we went in, everything was there. So I mean, it had the sinks, it had it had the drains, it had all the countertops, it had the seating areas, it had the bathrooms, it had everything. So we didn't have to go in and do all that. Um, and that was phenomenal. So that was made it real easy for her to go, "Oh, I could see doing this. All we got to do is walk in, put some equipment in, paint, do some other stuff, and then we can open." So she's like, "Okay, we can do that. That's simple."
Mhm.
And it was not simple, but it was a lot of work. but So it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
So she got on board, and yes, absolutely love it. I love the people. I love dealing with
So great.
folks. I love the fact that I can mess with them because I can't get fired.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's a good point. Yeah.
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 So we have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have your Springfield location, and then you decide, hey, I want to open another store because I'm not busy enough, and
Yeah.
let's do this, Teresa. what,
Yeah.
what did she think about that?
Oh, she did not like that idea at all. She did not, and I keep telling her I want 10,
Oh
she's like,
gosh.
yeah, I just like, oh my, no, we're not doing 10.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe that's where franchise comes in. You just
yeah,
get the residuals from the franchise.
yeah, I figure we'll get 10 and then I can retire again.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about the Ozark location.
So we decided we wanted a second location, and we wanted it to be down in Ozark. Again, we're just really blessed to have the location we have. We're across from Lambert's in the Bullseye Strip Mall.
Okay, let me pause there. So we've gave shout out to your realtor and to Lambert's. I need to say I do not get paid.
Yeah.
Nor I do not get any residuals for talking about any business or affiliates. So I have to put that out there. Okay, go ahead.
No worries. It's just a location. Everybody knows where that's at.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So on Highway J,
I'll get in
there.
trouble if I don't say that. So I have to
Okay.
say.
Yeah, there you go. So we're right across there in that Bullseye parking lot. So that's where you can find us, and it's a super great location. It's right off the interstate. It's super easy to get to. In fact, I've got customers that go to our Springfield location that say, because they're doing all that construction on Republic Road right now, they go to the Ozark one just because it's so much easier to get into. They're like, it's right here. It's right off the interstate. I can get here faster and easier than I can fight the Springfield traffic. So that's been really good location. I did a lot of learning on that one. We were hoping to open up by July 1st, but there was a lot in there. It used to be a check cashing place. So I actually had to go in. We had to get an architect to draw everything up. I did most of the work. So I got to learn how to use a jackhammer, which I'd never done before. I learned how to use a concrete saw.
Wow.
I did the framing, the electrical, all sorts of stuff. I didn't do any plumbing. Thank goodness. I am not a plumber.
Right.
But I made the holes for them. So it was a great learning experience. We did a lot of fun stuff in there. And it turned out beautiful. Teresa and her sister decorate both of the shops. They come in and they do, they do all the decorations and the pictures and they set up all of that, which is good because I have zero imagination when it comes to that kind of stuff. So we opened up. When was that? August 15th.
Okay.
I think. Yeah. So we were about a month and a half late, but it worked out. So now we're open there.
Yes. It's a super great location. That
really
gas station's very, very busy.
It is.
I'm not going to mention the name because I don't want to say my spiel again, but it's a fabulous location. So how did you find that location?
So we actually were driving by and we saw it. And we're like, how is this open? This is a great location. Why is this one spot?
Oh, you got that, huh?
It was, I think. And so when we went to try and lease it, they came back and they said, yep, we'll lease the property to you. And then he told me, he said, we have turned down a ton of businesses for this place because either they were not the right fit, there were competition, or we just didn't want what they were selling. You know what I mean? It's like, we don't want that in our establishment. And he said, I think you guys will be a really good fit. And it has been. It's been a really good fit up there so far. So again, they were waiting for the right people. We just happened to be the right people, which worked out good for everybody.
Well, that is super great. That is wonderful. And now, are you kind of content now, or are you looking for the third location?
I'm actually looking at doing a food trailer
Okay.
to do festivals and get the word out a little bit even farther,
Mm-hmm.
so we can go do other events.
Cool.
Yeah, that would be my next. I think that's going to be my next step.
Your next step. Yeah.
Yeah.
And are you looking for employees? Or
I
do you
am
have enough?
not. We are so
Okay.
overstaffed. Everybody
Okay.
loves it there. They, it's fun. It's clean. Our hours are great. They're like, hey, look, I get off at 6 o'clock is the latest I'll ever work.
Mhm.
4 o'clock on the weekends. I mean, who
Nice.
wouldn't want a job like that?
Sure. Well,
Um,
speaking of that, let's talk about your hours.
okay. So we're open 7 in the morning till 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Okay.
Saturdays and Sundays we're open. Saturday we open at 8 to 4, and Sundays 10 to 4. Gives you a chance to go to service, and then you can come and get a bowl after service. So, yeah,
Nice. Well, cool.
yeah.
Well, I know we're at the 30-minute mark. One thing that I like to do, Guy, is words of wisdom. And so, what kind of words of wisdom do you give maybe an entrepreneur or just maybe in life?
Mm.
What words of wisdom do you have for anybody that's listening?
Oh, okay. I did tell this to one of the young ladies that worked there the other day. She's like, "Got any dating advice?" I said, "Don't ever go out with a guy that won't hold the door for you." That was
Mm,
pretty good words of wisdom.
that is good words of wisdom. You're exactly right.
um, let's see, words of wisdom.
And you know
Uh,
what? Tell you the truth is, when my husband and I were dating, I'll back up. So I have three boys and three young men. I guess I should say they're old. They're older now, but when they were little, I want to say like maybe 2, 3, and I don't even know. They were itty bitty, and we were going into the mall, and they went running into the mall, and I'm like, all right. This is where I teach them. So I'm standing outside the mall, just kind of looking around, and they're peeking out the door. Mom, what are you doing? I'm like, going forward, you'll be opening the door for me. And so at a wee young age is when I taught them, and then and now like the middle one has he's engaged,
oh,
and
nice.
she likes to open her own doors and stuff like that. And I told her, I said, listen, I worked really, really hard. I said, I know you got your own door. I said, but please do me a favor and let him open your door.
There you
I
go.
worked really hard to train him. So
That's nice.
yeah.
Well, it's true though. That
Mhm.
means that's a big character thing for you know. Let's see, but words of wisdom. Now you give me a moment to think. As far as entrepreneurship goes, I'd say don't be scared.
Mhm.
If you look at different businesses, small businesses, and like Teresa and I talk about this all the time. Whenever we're doing something, we always say, "Look, we're not the first. You know, somebody's already gone through all of this process, and if you can be the first, that's great." But like when we were putting our other business together, they said, "Oh, look, you have to do this and this and this," and it was just a bunch of hurdles. I mean,
Mm.
it was so much stuff that we were just pulling our hair out, and it's like, but calm down. We're not the
Mm.
first. It's gonna end. We're gonna get through this, and you got to get through it to get to the end result. So, times are gonna get hard. Things are gonna be tough, especially starting out. You just got to put the work in, and
Was
you
there
know,
any time that you wanted to give up? You're like, I am not doing this.
no, I don't think
No,
so. I'm
good.
I'm a pretty positive person.
Yeah.
I don't usually, even when times are bad, it's good.
Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
I'm still alive.
Hmm.
I'm still here for a reason. So,
And maybe that's a word of advice. It's also your attitude.
yeah. Yep.
You
Yeah.
know, keeping a positive attitude through the storm to get you to the other side.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, I want to say thanks for coming on.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh, well, thanks. I really appreciate it. And good luck. And I'm hoping whomever is watching that you go by and say hi to Guy and Teresa in the Springfield location. So we have 230 East Republic and 1655 West State Highway J. Is that
That's
right?
correct. Yep.
By Lambert's that I do not get paid to endorse, and off Republic Road, which I don't work for Springfield either. So there's all right. Well, it was my pleasure interviewing you, and good luck to all your endeavors.
Thank you very much.
All
Have a
right.
great day.
You too. Bye bye.